120 to 117. Grant Napier, Ryan, and Sacktown will join me in just a little bit. But this has been a fun game tonight in Sacramento. All right. And again, this is coming right down to the wire. Well, these Kings games have been unbelievable. This second half has been so much fun. And this fourth quarter has been incredible. It really has. It has been absolutely incredible. A 3-point game right now with the Suns looking for their fifth straight win. Glad that you are with us. Grant Napier right here on the postgame show. Ryan and Sacktown in just a little bit. Again, we're going to walk you right down to the final seconds here on YouTube Live. And, you know, the rebounding in this game, we'll talk about that with Ryan in Sacramento. Big rebounds, especially at the end of games. And now Sacramento is in dire straits in the final seconds of this game. Phoenix and Sacramento, these are two good teams. The Suns, I think, using their playoff pedigree to this point, and it has really helped them. And with 6.8 seconds left, free throws for the Phoenix Suns will pretty much determine whether they hand the Kings a loss or not. I mean, how good has Devin Booker been in this game? I mean, seriously, Devin Booker has been absolutely incredible. And you knew that Devin Booker could do this. I mean, Devin Booker is the real freaking deal. And in this game tonight, 43 points. 43 points for Devin Booker for the Phoenix Suns. 43 points. Actually, I think you can add more on to that. He just made 2 free throws, so it's 122 to 117 with 6.8 seconds left. Good to have you with us here on the postgame show. Grant Napier and again, Ryan in Sacktown will be coming in just a little bit. Eduardo, you are watching from Chile. How are you, my friend? I miss you, buddy. I miss you. What a big Kings fan Eduardo is, watching in Chile. You're the best, buddy. You are the freaking best. The best. Without Booker, the Suns done. Well, you could say that about a lot of teams in the NBA. Definitely a great game. Really was a great game. Eduardo, man, I miss you. I'm so happy that you have found us here on YouTube Live. All right, let's bring Ryan in Sacktown. And Rhino, I mean, this has been one hell of a game. You know, it's going to need a miracle for Sacramento to pull this out. What a game tonight. What an absolute incredible game. Kings fans are going to be disappointed, but this was an entertaining game for sure.
Yeah, it was, Grant. Very high-paced, definitely. And, you know, it was, for the Western Conference, it was a measuring stick to a degree. I mean, this is the first, they are leading the West, Phoenix Suns. And, you know, the Kings played well. They had their spurts. Thank goodness for that second team tonight, Grant. They really brought it. And there you could see a notable difference when that second team was on the floor.
Yeah, Fox did not shoot the ball well tonight. I mean, I'm not going to really pick on Fox. He's been their best player along with Sabonis, but he didn't have his typical game. You know, he just his shot was not falling tonight.
Yeah, his shot wasn't.
Go ahead.
His shot wasn't falling, Grant, but he also wasn't getting to his spots either. So it almost looked like it was part of Phoenix's game plan to keep him off that extended elbow for those 15, 16 footers.
Yeah, well, it's all over. 122 to 117, the final. The Kings have now lost 3 in a row, and they are 10-9. Devin Booker with 44 points in this game. We talk about Fox, you know, just 4 of 12, 1 of 3 downtown, and he was a minus 16, you know. Eduardo says, miss you too, buddy, but I love watching you here as a streamer. Eduardo, I hope you are well in Chile. Miss you, buddy. Miss you a lot. Eduardo's a huge Kings fan. He made the trip all the way from South America to Chile to come out to Sacramento. I met him and got him dialed in, got him pictures with all the players, and he's a good man, Ryan. He's a really good guy. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Malik Monk, yeah, he has been looking really good. Monk again tonight, you know, in this game off the bench. I mean, what can you say about him? 12 of 17. He had 30 points for Sacramento off the bench. I mean, that's big time.
Yeah, it was big time. He was that spark that they needed. I really liked the lineup with him, Terrence Davis, and also, drawing a blank right now, but him, Terrence Davis on the floor, and Davion Mitchell. The three of them, they played very, very well together. And it was a good game, and the Kings are going to lose some like this. They were more competitive than they were in Boston.
Yeah.
But, credit goes to the Suns. They had the 3 and 4 nights, and they came out fresh.
I look at the Suns in this fourth quarter where they outscored. Well, they didn't outscore. The Kings outscored them 33-31. But again, we talk about defense, right? And Phoenix in this game had 30 or more points, Ryan, in 3 of the 4 quarters. We keep on talking about defense, and it needs to get better. And it's, again, you should be able, Ryan, to win an NBA game with 117 points. But not tonight. 122 for Phoenix.
Yeah, I agree with you, Grant. We were a little bit sloppy on our rotations. At one point, coach pulled Terrence Davis aside during a timeout and showed him exactly what he did wrong, not stepping up. Also, I believe it's Lee for Phoenix. He shot the heck out of the ball, and you could tell the Kings' game plan was make him beat you, and we were late rotating to him. So it's the little things that are going to be the big things when you play elite teams like this.
There's no question. Lee had 15 points in this game, 6 of 11, including 3 of 7 from downtown. So here we are on the post-game show. Hit us up with your messages on the chat line. Again, the story in this game was Devin Booker with 44 points. He was 17 of 28 floor. He didn't shoot the ball well from distance. I mean, he missed 5 of 6 from downtown. Ayton, another double-double, 17 points and 12 rebounds. But I look at this game in a couple different ways. And I look at the fact the defense, again, 30 or more points allowed in 3 of the 4 quarters. And your guy that you're relying on to run the offense didn't have it tonight. All right. He did not shoot the ball well. He was 4 of 12. He only had 5 assists. And I'm not going to pick on De'Aaron Fox. The guy has been really, really good, but he wasn't really good tonight. He really was not good tonight.
No, almost looked a step slow. Whether they just got him out of his game a little bit or it just wasn't his night, it's tough to say. But, one thing I do know is he needs to put up more than 11 shots.
Yes.
And, the Kings can't win with him only taking 11 shots. Go ahead.
No, please finish.
No, I was also going to say, we need to make sure that on the offensive side of the ball, we are playing inside out, because that is when things are working. And, we're having nights where we have a couple of guys that just aren't on. Harrison Barnes, for instance. There were times at this game I didn't even realize he was on the floor.
Well, 122-117 is your final score. The Phoenix Suns end up with their 5th straight win. They're now 14-6, only their 3rd road win. And Sacramento now falls to 10-9 with the Indiana Pacers upcoming in the next game. And the Pacers are currently in LA, and they are losing to the Lakers at the end of 3, 93-84. So the Pacers are currently down 93-84 in that game. Again, the Kings, an entertaining game, but they fall short. 122-117. Sea-Dog says Kevin Huerter showing he can do a lot more than just hit threes. He's a really good player. He's a really good player with a really good basketball IQ. And I think he's been a huge plus for Sacramento. He really has.
He has been. He's starting to show that more, that it's not just the 3 ball. He really knows how to use his body when he takes the ball to the rack. The only thing that I would pick out a little bit is the free throw shooting. I think he's about 69% for the season, but
needs
hopefully
to get better.
Comes along. Needs to get better.
And he did not shoot well from distance. I mean, he was 0 of 5 in this game. And that's so, your starting backcourt tonight was a combined 1 of 8 from 3, 1 of 8 from 3. There you go.
And with a team that relies on the 3 ball, Grant, that's tough. And even I do want to jump back really quick. When you're talking about Devin Booker, he hit some really hard shots tonight. Those were contested shots. So 17 of 28. That's not terrible, but that's still a big game for Devin. But
that's a huge game. If you can score 44 points on 28 shots, that's a gigantic game. That's a huge game. That is off the charts. If you can score 44 points on 28 shots, that is off the charts. Great. I mean, he had a great game. Even though he didn't shoot well from 3, if you score 44 points on 28 shots, that's amazing efficiency and amazing production.
Absolutely. And, one thing that stuck out to me about him is how he also gets to his spots and also his body control. It almost looks like Chris Paul has rubbed off on him playing with Chris for a couple of years,
Great
just
point.
like a little bit of clone of
Great
Chris.
point.
But yeah, no, I mean, he did a great job tonight. And like I said, the Suns beat the Kings. I don't really think the Kings beat themselves.
All right, what'd you think of Keegan Murray tonight? All right, so he played 23 minutes. He was 5 of 11, made his only 3 that he took. The thing I'm not liking right now about Murray is his lack of rebounding. He only had 2 rebounds tonight in 23 minutes, and that's not going to get it done. He needs to rebound better than he's rebounding. That's where I'm going to pick on him right now.
Yeah, the rebounding needs to come. You could see they were trying to get him going on the offensive end early, which helped out a little bit. But I think part of the problem, too, is he's not playing enough down low and cutting as much. I mean, typically his buckets are going to be dunks, layups down low. So he's shooting the majority of perimeter shots, and he's going back on defense as opposed to crashing because he's picking up a guard. So there maybe
I'm sorry.
Maybe needs to be a little bit of a tweak there, but he's too athletic and too big to not be getting more than 3 rebounds in a night.
This question, should Malik start or better off the bench? No, you need a guy like that off the bench. He's a 6th man coming off the bench. And so, no, I wouldn't touch that at all. I would not put Malik Monk in the starting lineup. I think you need him coming off the bench. And here's the other deal. He played 30 minutes tonight. All right. There was only 2 players played more than Malik Monk tonight. Kevin Huerter played 32. And Sabonis played 37. So Monk played the 3rd most minutes on the floor. So I don't have a problem with the way Mike Brown's using him at all.
Not at all. No, he is an excellent spark off the bench, and he meshes well, like I said, with Davion. And they just bring a different tempo to the game, Grant.
Yep. All right. So 122 to 107 or 117. Phoenix outscored Sacramento by 5 in the first. Kings outscored by 6 in the second. They take a 1-point lead into the break. 3rd quarter, Phoenix was +8, so they enter the 4th quarter with a 7-point lead, and the Kings outscored Phoenix 33 to 31, but not enough, 122 to 117. So 3 straight losses now after 7 consecutive wins. And the only game that sticks out to me was the Boston game. But other than that, the Kings have been in every game. They're right down there in the wire. And as you said, the Indiana Pacers are coming up next. And there's going to be a lot of fanfare with that game, with Tyrese and Buddy coming back. There's going to be a lot of extras in this game. In other words, the game is going to be fun, but there's going to be a buildup to this game with Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton, which is going to add a little bit more oomph to this contest.
Certainly, Grant. But the last time there was a lot of buildup around a game, look at what the Kings did on national TV. So hopefully they can replicate that. But yeah, there will be a little distraction, questions, and shoot arounds about the guys on both sides.
Yeah,
but I expect a really, really good game, and they do need to bounce back. I mean, they need some home cooking right now before they hit the road for that long road trip.
Yeah, and it looks like Indiana's going to come in here with another loss. They're down 98 to 84 against the Lakers, who are starting to play a lot better. So don't forget about that. I don't know if you saw the injury to Karl Anthony Towns tonight. He's got a calf strain, and those things can last quite a while. And Minnesota lost again tonight. And they're one of the teams that I thought would be better, although we didn't know with the addition of the big man from Utah, Rudy Gobert, how that would work. It really has not worked out that well. They're struggling. And right now, after the loss, Minnesota is 10-11, so they're a game under 500.
Surprising, especially with the acquisition. But, in this NBA right now, certainly Towns can shoot the 3. Playing two big men together like that, it's either going to prosper or, you're going to get ran by, and hopefully they can get it together sometime soon. But, yeah, high expectations not being met yet.
Donald asked about booing Buddy, but not Tyrese. You know what? Listen, do whatever you want if you go into the game. Seriously, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Again, Madden asked, should the Kings boo Buddy and Holly? You know what? Do what you want. If you want to boo, boo. If you want to cheer him, cheer him. I mean, that's completely up to you. I don't lose sleep over that stuff. I really don't. You do what you want.
Yeah, as long as you're respectful. Nothing crazy. It's your seat for that night, so you can do what you want to do. But I don't think it's going to affect them either way.
Yeah, absolutely. So here are your standings now. Phoenix has won 5 in a row. They're 14-6. Denver won tonight. They're 13-7. New Orleans is now in 3rd at 12-8. Memphis is in 4th, followed by the Clippers and Portland. Sacramento with the loss now goes to 7th, and here come your Golden State Warriors, now 8th, and they are 11-10. The Jazz lose again tonight. That's 5 straight losses for the Jazz. They're now 12-11, and Minnesota is 10th. Here are the teams that I would keep an eye on that aren't currently in the top 10. One is Dallas. I'm not so sure Dallas is really going to get it going. I think losing Brunson really affected this team more than people thought. He's a good player, but Dallas is having a lot of problems. You know, Dallas is only 1-7 on the road. That's a big issue. But now the Lakers are creeping up a little bit at 7-11. So keep an eye on them. You know, and I'll tell you, Oklahoma City's competitive. Oklahoma City's probably not going to be a top 10 team, but they're going to beat some good teams along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of those teams, I would say the Lakers. You know, the Lakers, as long as they can stay healthy, and that's a big if with Anthony Davis. You know, LeBron's going to drive them 2 more wins. They started out slow. And then obviously the Warriors, I mean, things were off at the start of the season, right? Yeah, the whole thing with Draymond. But they're going to be the Warriors. And as long as they are in the playoff, they're going to make some noise at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is a chance that the bone bruise is causing discomfort. I mean, De'Aaron's a tough guy. He wants to be on the floor. That is possible. Does he look a little bit slow to you, Ryan? I haven't really, that hasn't stuck out to me, but could be that his knee's bothering him a little bit.
He looked just a little bit slow tonight, just a tad bit, not enough to be like, hey, he's playing hurt, but he didn't have that quick flash, that initial step that you usually see.
Hey, Brandon, you realize it's November, right, Brandon? Okay. You realize that the Kings have yet to play 20 games. There is no front runner right now for Coach of the Year. It doesn't exist. Nobody's talking about it. You know why nobody's talking about it, Brandon? Because it's irrelevant right now. The season just started. We're not talking about who's winning the MVP, Rookie of the Year. We're not talking about Coach of the Year. Can we at least turn the calendar to 2023 and get towards the All-Star break before we start talking about things that are silly right now? Come on now. Stop it already. Again, the Kings have a big game coming up to stop what could be a slide, because then after Indiana, they're on the road down in LA to take on the Clippers. So the 7-game win streak was fabulous, great, but now you're going the other way. And so I think this game coming up against the Pacers is a really important game for Sacramento to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it is, Grant. You know, I don't see any reason why they can't beat the Pacers. I think that we need to just have a little bit more consistency on offense. I understand defense is the big talking point, but we go through these lulls on offense. If that 3 ball is not going for the Kings, it's kind of a little bit panicky. Now you combine that with De'Aaron Fox having an off night, you're still in trouble a little bit, yet they put up 117 points. So as long as they can get that together, I think they're going to be all right, and they can pull that out.
All right. The Kings, Anita says, let's concentrate on making the playoffs before we think about any awards. Still a long way to go. Yeah, there is a long way to go. Absolutely.
Long way.
I know. Thank you, Anita. Lucky says Keegan is soft to be a power forward. I don't know if I would agree with that. But, you know, here's what I do know. Okay. And they do need it. I wouldn't say a final piece. I don't think you're ever done with building your team, but yeah, they do. And, you know, you got to take steps. You don't go from winning 30 games, which the Kings won last year, to winning 50 games overnight, unless you're lucky enough to draft a Tim Duncan or a LeBron James or something like that. So, you know, again, I wouldn't worry about too much. They've made a lot of progress already. They've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, Monty McNair has been the best GM in Sacramento since Jeff Petrie. And I'm talking about Jeff Petrie's last couple of years on the way out, but he's done a nice job. He showed that he's had a plan for this team, and I have no reason to question that he still does not have pieces that he would like to add, but in time, you know, and he has been patient. So we'll see what happens.
You know, the silver lining is the Kings are being very competitive against the elite teams in the league. Phoenix was the number 1 seed last year, and they're really good. And the game went right down to the wire. The silver lining, you know, I look at the standings. To me, a win's a win and a loss is a loss. There are such things as good losses. There are such things as bad wins. I believe that after covering the league for 32 years. The silver lining is this team's competitive. They're much more competitive than they've been in many years. The issue that I'm seeing that is still a problem for me is defensively, they're not good. And you are not going to beat teams that have really good offenses allowing 122 points. Your offense is good too, but you're not going to win. I mean, tonight's a perfect example. The three ball was not falling for Sacramento. And we think about Sacramento as a really good offensive team. Statistically, through the first part of the season, they've been shown that they are a very good offensive team, one of the best in the league. But when you have a night where you're not making 3-point shots, what are you falling back on? Well, the Kings don't know how to fall back on defense because they don't play good defense. So that's a real problem for me.
Yeah, that's a great point, Grant. The silver lining for me personally is, we've talked about in Sacramento, we play up. We're playing with Boston. I know you mentioned that game, Grant. Up until that last quarter, we played with them. We didn't play terrible. And a team tonight like Phoenix, we look like we're on their level is the better way to say it. We're not as good as them right now. They're a better team. They're in first place. But we don't look like a bottom of the barrel team that's just having a really good night. So, I that's the lining for me.
All right, Pacers trying to make a comeback down 101-94 now with 7.5 minutes left there. Again, Philly beat Atlanta tonight. The Wizards scored 142, beating Minnesota 142-127. The Celtics, they got a big night, 140-105 over the Hornets. The Nets over the Magic, 109-102. The Raptors, 12 better than the Cavaliers north of the border. The Pelicans get the win over the Thunder, 105-101. Nuggets beat the Rockets, 129-113. Bulls hand the Jazz another loss in Salt Lake City, 114-107. And the game that we're talking about, 122-117. The Phoenix Suns outlast the Sacramento Kings. You know what? It was great to see Dusty Baker and Logan Webb at the game. Dusty, great to have him at the game tonight. No question about that.
Yep. Comes home a champion.
Yep. Came home a champion. You are exactly right. You are absolutely right. This is a really good one right here. Man, it seems like you have to score over 120 to win in this league. If you don't play good defense, you do. That's a really good point, Donald. I think the Sacramento Kings right now, that might be their magic number with how bad they are defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, we're earlier in the season, Grant, and 120 does kind of feel around that number. But, if we don't start seeing some changes on defense or, that extra rotation, who knows, in the next sample size, it's got to happen at this point.
What's your thoughts on the kicking of the leg during a jump shot being called a foul, Grant? It is a foul. And I remember being in New York with the NBA referees in a meeting with the other broadcasters, and they explained to us why it would be called a foul. And I think it is. I think it's gaining an advantage. And I think it's an unnatural move by a shooter. And so it is a foul. So I like it. I think it should have been called that way for many years, and they've just implemented that in over the last couple of years. So
yeah, definitely a foul, and a point of emphasis this year as well is making sure there's enough room for a jump shooter to land. That's a flagrant one if you do not give them enough room to come down.
Last time the Kings fans whined about making a trade to get better, Holly got traded and fans had a cow. Be careful what you ask for. Let my coach Amani do his job. Anita, there's a lot of truth to that, but I've said this and I'm going to continue to say this. We're not going to really know the full extent of the trade that was made between Sacramento and Indiana for a couple of years. Right now, today, at the end of November in 2022, it looks like an excellent trade for both teams. Indiana's playing very well. Sacramento's playing very well. Both teams have benefited from making the trade. So it's a trade that has worked out for both teams. Now, if we're having this conversation 2 years from now, and Sabonis has decided not to re-sign with Sacramento, which I don't think will happen, but and Halliburton is an all-star, we're going to have a completely different take on this trade. But again, those are extreme scenarios that I'm putting out there. I could see Halliburton being an all-star, but Sabonis has already been an all-star twice, and he's going to be an all-star again, I would think, a few more times in his career. So right now, it's a very good chat message from Anita, but right now it's a trade that's worked out very well for both teams.
Yeah, one of the few trades you can say has worked out very well for both teams. But yeah, the key is Sabonis re-signing, and certainly I don't see an indication that he seems or not to be happy here. It seems like he really enjoys playing with this team, and I would expect him to hopefully re-sign as well.
The one thing about the Western Conference, and it is a log jam in the West, and you have to stay relevant. And some of these recent ugly wins are paying off with the recent 3-game slide. Brian, the one thing about an 82-game season, the bad and the good seem to even out. You're going to win games that you have no business winning, and you're going to lose games that you have no business losing. That's the NBA. It's going to happen over 82 games. I don't think tonight was one of those games. I think the Kings tonight was the situation tonight. The Kings lost to a better team. Even without Chris Paul, the Phoenix Suns are a better team. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. And when you have De'Aaron Fox not shooting well, not having a good game, it's going to be very difficult to beat a team like the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and Brian, I mean, I would also say, they didn't back down tonight. This was a very first fast-paced as this game was. It was a very physical game as well. So that's something to be encouraged about as well.
All right. Again, we get a lot of text about Keegan Murray. Here's the deal with Murray. He only played 23 minutes tonight, okay? So he's playing less than half the game, and that's been the case over the last several games. So he's playing less than half the game, and yet we're getting a lot of people saying, well, he needs to be taken out of this lineup. Again, he's don't worry about who's starting. Be concerned about who's on the floor when the game is on the line. Who are the 5 that Mike Brown is putting out there on most nights? That's what I look at. I'm not that concerned with him starting right now. Again, he only played 23 minutes. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but that's how I look at that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Grant. I think that it's also the spots too. I was actually a little surprised to see him in the fourth quarter because we needed that little bit of spark. And so if he's not playing well or seems to be struggling, that can be a gripe from the fans. But yeah, 23 minutes, there's no reason at this point to pull him out.
Stan says if Fox wants to be an all-star, he needs to be consistent every game. Otherwise, he won't make it. Not every game, most every game. All athletes, regardless of their names, are going to have off nights, okay? I'm not – the one guy I'm really not worried about on the team is De'Aaron Fox. Now, if he is dealing with an ailment that's affecting how he's playing, then I would be concerned. But, I mean, the Kings have played 19 games. Out of the 19 games, let's now make it 18 because he missed a game in Miami. Mm-hmm. I'd say 15 of the 18 have been outstanding. I like that ratio. I'll take that.
I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And again, stop saying Fox let you down tonight. He didn't let you down tonight. All right. The guy played his ass off. All right. He didn't let you down. He's not a robot. He's not a freaking machine. He's a human being. Okay. He's going to have some bad nights. So he didn't let you down. Stop it with he let you down. All right. Because he makes $30 million a year doesn't mean he's going to score 30 points and have 15 assists and take the team on a record of 82-0. He didn't let you down tonight. He had an off night. Okay. That's what happened. He didn't let you down. It's called sports, okay? That's the beauty of competition. That's the beauty of competing. He didn't let you down, all right? If those are your expectations, you probably need to reevaluate what the hell you're doing. Seriously, he let you down. He didn't let you down tonight. Unless you're gambling and you lost money on the game and you're all pissed because De'Aaron Fox didn't score enough for you. If he let you down that way, then that's your own fault. That's why they call it gambling. Unbelievable.
Well said, Grant. Well said.
Let you down.
Come on.
Freaking unbelievable.
Stop.
Really. Yeah. Did he let you down all those nights when he took the team on his back and made clutch shots in the fourth quarter, game after game after game? Did he let you down on those games too? It's amazing. Fans drive me freaking crazy sometimes. They really do. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
again, but I don't agree with this. Kings played hard. Fox didn't. I'm sorry. I don't agree that he didn't play hard. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Thank you, Anita. Thank you. He did not let you down. Incredible.
Yeah. Anita the Great, always coming in with a good comment. He to say he let you down. Come on. I mean, you're always going to have that attached to him, right? Because he's the $30 million guy per year. But, you're going to have an off night. They played him well. You got to concede sometimes. If it's a trend, then one thing's another. But it's not a trend. So I'm with Grant. Stop that.
All right. Grant, do you think the Kings will win 41 games? I do not think they will win 41 games. I don't. And no, Indiana is not a mini must-win. All right, it's November. You don't have must-win games in November. Do I think it's an important game? Yeah, I think it's an important game. Do I think it's a must-win? No, it's not even a mini must-win as you put it. You didn't put must-win. No, I don't. But you're at home. You had a good feeling about yourself winning 7 in a row. Now you've lost 3 in a row. And the beginning of that road trip was sloppy at the end of the game, but you won. You beat Memphis. John Morant missed the first free throw. Who knows what would have happened in overtime? You lost the next night to Atlanta. I get that. You got beat by a much better team in Boston. Now you come home and you lost to a better team in Phoenix. You know, the sky's not falling. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, the game coming up against Indiana, yeah, it's an important game.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's important with the Indiana game and beyond that is the Kings finishing quarters and finishing games. That is something that I'm really looking for with this team, and I think we've seen where they kind of tail off towards the end and then make a late run, but I want to see them finish.
Same old Fox, plays like an all-star, then disappears. He can't be a leader. You know,
it's one game.
I know.
Come on.
How many games has he been responsible for winning at the end this season, right? I mean, how many big shots has the guy made already this season towards the end of games? A lot.
Grant, how many times have you come on here and answered the same question 5 times a night? De'Aaron Fox is an all-star. Is he an all-star? Is he an all-star? And now he has an off night and it's this? Come on.
You know, again, everyone's picking on Fox tonight. I guess it's fashionable. Everybody was picking on Harrison Barnes for 2 weeks. Then it was Keegan Murray. Now it's Fox. So he had a minus 16. Again, you know, he didn't have a good game. I don't know how else I can say it. He did not have a good game. Do you want to suspend him from the team? Do you want to tell him he's not allowed to go to the practice facility tomorrow? Do you want to have him go down and play for the Stockton Kings for a week or two? What the hell is it that you want from the guy? The guy has been an all-star this year, okay? He did not have a good game tonight. You're going to flush him down the toilet like you consider yourself a fan? Really? Have you ever seen LeBron James have a bad game? I've seen him have bad games before. If LeBron James can have a bad game, De'Aaron Fox can have a bad game. Freaking relax, would you please?
Spot on. You can say he had a bad game. It's a fact if you look at the line, but don't come in with the sky's falling. It's not.
Unbelievable. Why doesn't Mike Brown make the adjustment to keep him out knowing the team was flowing better when he was out? Mike's done this before. You know why Mike's done this before? Because Mike knows his players a lot better than you do. That's why. Okay? Mike knows what De'Aaron can do and what he can't do. Mike's got a very good idea of the flow of the game. He also is aware that in a game like tonight, he's seen De'Aaron already do it multiple times this year in close games down the stretch. All right? That's why. I'm really disappointed in the fans tonight. I love the fans. You know that. I'm disappointed with a lot of your messages. I really am. You lost to a really good team, and you're dumping all over your franchise point guard. Think about what you're doing here. Think about the games that the Kings have won this year, okay? And think about how good he has been in all of those wins. And now he has a bad game, and you're ready to, kill the guy. That's not being a true fan, all right? It's okay to be critical. It's okay to analyze a game. But some of the messages I'm seeing, wake up, fans, would you please? I mean, not a leader, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Here's what I do know. Without De'Aaron Fox this year, you wouldn't have 5 wins right now. You wouldn't even have 5 wins. You have 10. You're 10-9. You know why you're 10-9? De'Aaron Fox is a big reason why you're 10-9. Stop it with this nonsense.
Yeah. I guess everybody's forgotten that he was the Western Conference Player of the Week last week for averaging 26 points and 8 assists a game.
How did that happen? How did that? You mean he got an award last week? You mean that of all the players that played last week in the NBA in the Western Conference, of all of them, every player, you mean De'Aaron was voted as the best player of the week? How could that possibly happen?
I don't know. Grant, they might take it away from him because of his performance tonight.
Take it away. Absolutely. Unbelievable. Wow. I didn't see this today. You were telling me on Listen App that, or you might even been telling me on the show earlier with Sean Salisbury, he signed with Clutch Sports, De'Aaron Fox, changing agents.
Yep, changing agents. He's with Clutch Sports now, LeBron's group with Rich Paul. I believe, I forget what publication it is, but they just did a big story on him as well, and the announcement that he will be having his first son in early 2023. So it was kind of a big day for him. And no, do not say that is the reason he did not play well tonight. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
All right. The Pacers, you ready for this?
Are they back?
They've come to within a point with 2 minutes left against the Lakers. How about that?
All right.
Yeah. 110 to 109. And they're outscoring the Lakers currently 25-17 in the fourth. How about that?
Who's leading the charge for them, Grant?
I'll look at the box score right now. Let's see. Halliburton's got 22 and 12 assists, but he's only 1 of 6 from downtown with 13 points. But once again, Halliburton is the man for the Indiana Pacers. 22 points, now 13 assists on he was also the player of the week in the Eastern Conference last week.
Yep.
Well, so that's going to be fun coming up. The Kings' next game against the Indiana Pacers. The Lakers are back up by 3, 112 to 109. Hey, Ryan, good stuff today, buddy. Appreciate your work on both the show this afternoon and this evening. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you tomorrow on Listen Up. And Jerry Reynolds, you may want to start connecting with Jerry tomorrow morning about 6 to get ready for Wednesday's show. He'll need probably a good 36 hours to get dialed in and on the internet, you know?
Yeah, you're right, Grant. Maybe I'll get some exercise and just start walking over there right now. That should get me to his place. So, yeah, we'll make sure that's up and running for sure. But yeah, thank you so much, Grant. Really, really fun as always.
Thank you, buddy. That's good stuff from Ryan in Sacktown. Where'd you meet me? Scooby-Doo? Oh, you work for the Kings. All right. Mitchell was great tonight. His defense was next level. He was one of the reasons why we kept it close. Yeah, he really is fun to watch defensively. I mean, he really is. He absolutely is. Jerry still hasn't learned how to get on the stream. Dorian, he's getting out. He's doing better. All right. He's doing better. He's doing better. All right. He is doing better. Team plays better with Fox on the bench. The ball has more energy. It moves. Sabonis is the best player on this team. I don't disagree that Sabonis is the best player on the team. That's why he has been an all-star twice. Someone wants to know, what is the Kings' identity 20 games in? Offense. They're an offensive team, you know? They're an offensive team. That's their identity. Plain and simple. All right. So Indiana and the Lakers are going down to the wire, 112 to 101 with 43 seconds left down in La La Land. All right. So again, it's going right down to the wire. Hey, if you missed any of my podcasts last week, I did 2 episodes on stories. And tomorrow I'm going to have another one. I've had a couple of people say they wished I had talked more about my time with the Kings and particularly broadcasting. We got a couple of great stories that I'm going to share with you on tomorrow's podcast. And then coming up on 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I'll be on Listen App. Also, I'm now on Cameo. So if you need anything, check me out on Cameo and I can make it happen. Devin Booker, the man tonight, seemed like doubling on Booker helped with the defense. You got to try to get the ball out of his hands. You know, you got to try to get the ball out of his hands. Yeah, Davis did. He made 1 of 2. Timeout 113 and 111. The Lakers with 43 seconds left. Maybe everyone's going to start jumping on Anthony Davis because he missed a free throw, right? Although it's the Lakers, they jump on their players all the time. All right. Grant, we need you back. These announcers suck. It's out of my control, my friend. I don't know how to answer that one. I really don't. Someone says, my problem with Fox is his lack of ability to make his teammates better and his inability to lead. He's shown he can play at a higher level, but not for a full season. I would agree with that. He has not shown that he can play for a full season. I think that's a fair criticism, and he's going to need to do that this year. So I agree with you. I think that's fair. You know, he's had a lot of injuries. He's not been able to play 82 games. So I think that's fair criticism. And I'm okay with criticism, by the way. You know, I don't sit there and say, well, gee, you're not allowed to criticize. You're talking to Grant Napier. I criticize people all the time. Right. By the way, I criticize people of all ethnicities, all religions, sexualities, I'm fair. Okay. I don't just pick on an individual because of their religion or their sexuality or the color of their skin. I criticize people of all walks and races. Doesn't matter to me. If you deserve to be criticized, I don't have a problem criticizing. All right. Never have, never will. All right. Someone says, my opinion, Fox has to go. And yes, the commentators suck. Scooby-Doo, Fox isn't going anywhere. All right. So I'm not really sure what you're trying to do. When the Kings win, everyone's happy. When we lose, we get loud, sour apples. Yeah, you do get the loud, sour apples, you know? Yes. Katie Christensen literally said verbatim on the broadcast, and it makes you want to be a single mom, doesn't it? What are you talking about? Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. Seriously. Yep, 113, 113. Yes. Somebody said, heard there was a racist comment by one of our announcers. Is that true, Grant? Google Mark Jones. All right. Google Mark Jones. I'll let your fingers do the walking and then the talking. Google Mark Jones. Lakers score 115, 113. LeBron James with a go-ahead basket with 8.7 seconds left. All right. No problem. I think you'll be very interested in what you see. Lucky. All right. Again, 115, 113. Looks like that's it. Ball game. Miles Turner misses. Wow. A three-pointer at the buzzer. Tyrese Halliburton with the assist. And the Pacers beat the Lakers 116 to 115. Oh, boy. How about that? Andrew Nembhard makes a 26 three-pointer at the buzzer. Final score, Indiana 116 and the Lakers 115. Who says good things don't happen here on the postgame show on YouTube Live? Yes, they do. The Lakers lose. The Pacers win. The Pacers are in Sacktown coming up next. And on that note, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you that we are coming to you courtesy of New Works Plumbing of Sacramento. Locally owned for over 20 years, New Works has a fix for you. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, again, NEWWRX plumbing.com or sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Kings lose. They have now dropped 3 in a row. The Pacers are up next. Should be a fun game. Thank you very much for joining me right here on the postgame show, and enjoy your rest of your evening.